Welcome to another episode of 30 Minutes with dailystraits.com. Today we're going to break away from our usual entrepreneurial chit chat and speak to a managing director of a large public listed company instead. So, our first guest for this series is Edward Loy, the MD of Kone Malaysia. Founded in 1910, Kone is a public listed company headquartered in Helsinki, Finland. The company builds and services moving walkways, automatic doors and gates, escalators, as well as elevators. It provides services for builders, developers, building owners, designers, and architects in over 1,000 offices in 50 countries. So today we're going to talk to Edward about all things engineering and how he manages his day-to-day affairs as an MD for Kone. Hello, Edward. Thank you for joining us today.
Hi, June. Thank you for having me.
Awesome. So, all right, let's dive right into the questions. So, in a nutshell, can you explain to the listeners what does Kone do as a company?
Right. Thank you very much, June. Kone as a company, our objective is to be the leader in sustainability, not only in our industry, but also beyond. We want to help our customers make cities better places to live in and be their most trusted partners for them throughout the building life cycle. And in addition to the environmental aspects of our offering and operations, our focus on sustainability includes safety, quality, diversity, and inclusion, as well as ethics and compliance. Our vision is to create the best people flow experience. We have improved the flow of urban life, as you said earlier, June, for 110 years. And we want to share our expertise to help our customers in making cities smart, sustainable, and better places to live in.
Okay, that's great. So, coming back to the pandemic and how it has transformed our world. So, has it impacted Kone's business in any way?
Yeah, surely. Yeah, very good question. I suppose this is very relevant to and pertinent to all of us since the pandemic started in 2020, March last year. Our daily work processes in Kone and management methods have certainly adjusted. We have adjusted it very quickly to realign our thinking, and we took prompt actions to protect our employees, especially from the safety and health perspective. We contacted customers, started preparing to resume work as and when possible, and making sure that all our employees and also our partners, subcontractors are safe to go back to work. So we have been extremely agile in every move that we made since the pandemic started. And most importantly, during this period, Kone truly demonstrated a service mindset. We listened to our customers' needs and placed ourselves in their shoes. We provided Kone 24/7 connected services. This is one of the most innovative solutions that we had. We provided this solution to our customers. We call it 24/7 connected services, operating in critical facilities, especially those who are in the healthcare services, to make sure that the elevators, escalators in places like hospitals operated smooth, and even offered our customers an epidemic prevention materials, especially when we talk about those lifts and buttons and the handrails. In terms of touching handrails, we make sure that the solutions provided are safe and obviously healthy to use. We also introduced a range of people flow solutions during this time to help building safer, healthier places to live, work, and commute. So the solutions we built on Kone's deep expertise and knowledge of people flow, which is very vital during this time, addressing the challenges, adapting to a new way of life in the face of the current pandemic.
Okay, so coming to that people flow, right? What is it actually, and how does it help make buildings healthier and a safer place to live? Can you elaborate to us in a layman term?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Thank you, June. In Kone, our mission is to improve the flow of urban life, as I mentioned earlier. We move over 1 billion people every day. We serve approximately 550,000 customers across the globe, and we have over 1.4 million elevators and escalators in our maintenance base. So growing urbanization is certainly creating new demands for buildings and infrastructures in the cities, providing opportunities in our business throughout the life cycles of building, from new equipment, maintenance, and to modernization, serving different customers' needs. So let me touch on one of the solutions and one of the innovations we are trying to do is about digitalization. So digitalization continues to accelerate even faster during the pandemic, as we all know. And we see more and more of our customers adopted digitalization in their business and in their operations. So as a market leader in innovation, we continue to create values for customers through the solutions. And I mentioned earlier about 24/7. So Kone 24/7 Connected Services has proven to be our great success in reducing call out rate for our customers' equipment. So basically the Kone 24/7 is not about preventive maintenance, it's about predictive maintenance. And we're using IoT, we're using the cloud to predict the what will go wrong in this escalators or elevators. So we will send our technicians to the sites before it even happened, and the customers didn't even notice it. And they will not even notice that we have already predicted and prevented any faults in the elevators, escalators. So this is a fantastic solution.
Okay, so also sustainability is your core focus for your company. So what are some of the specific sustainability achievements you've had for Kone so far?
As I mentioned earlier also, that we want to contribute to better urban living by helping people move around in and between the buildings. And a great deal of that is about sustainable practices. Our objective is to be the leader in this, not just in our industry, but also beyond. Over the course of the last year in 2020 and also 2021, there are 4 areas that we're focusing on in terms of sustainability. One is provide the most sustainable offering. I'll come back to each point later. Second is about working towards a more sustainable future, which is about the buildings. Third is about our people, empowering our people, attracting the best talent. And the last point is enabling our partners and societies to prosper. So allow me to come back to the first one, which is providing the most sustainable offering. So with taller buildings and rising expectations of comfort, the total number of elevators and escalators is growing. So consequently, the eco-efficient elevators and escalators and automatic doors, as well as the modernization solutions, are key in improving climate resilience. At Kone, we want to be the most trusted partner for our customers throughout their building life cycle and help them to achieve their sustainability objectives. Every day, not just deliver the best experience for our customers and end users, but the safety of the billion people who use our equipment is also our top priority, and in terms of energy efficiency. We provide that to our customers in terms of their building efficiency, green building certifications. Those are the objectives that we have with our customers. Second point is about working towards a more sustainable future. So buildings account for a large part of the world's energy consumption and greenhouse gas emissions. For us, sustainability is a source of innovation as well as a competitive advantage. So we create unique value through collaboration with our customers and partners by using insights based on data. We constantly strive to improve our operations to be more sustainable, reducing our environmental impact. I talk about green gas emissions, but also the energy efficiency, which we constantly review the data with our customers to make sure that where we can help them to make it more livable, their buildings more livable, as well as more increasing their asset value. Third is about the empowering people, attracting the best talent. We have over 60,000 employees over the world in 60 countries. Malaysia, we have 650, and the vast majority of people work in the field, meeting our customers and also making sure that the equipment users are safe to use their equipment daily. So we want to make sure that our people are inclusive, our culture is inclusive, promotes and values diversity. And for us is to make sure that our people work in a safe and healthy working environment and they get to go home safely. The collaborative approach and the culture will really make sure that our people are motivated to develop their competencies, upgrade their skills to deliver the best results for customers. And the last point about achievement in sustainability is about our customers and our society to prosper. We contribute to the economic environment in over 60 countries. We work with approximately 30,000 suppliers who provide us with raw materials, components, modules, logistics, installation, and other services. So it's also very important that we, together with them, collaborate to make a positive impact throughout this whole value chain. So our customers, so to say that our suppliers and partners must commit to the same high standard as Kone in terms of environment, in terms of ethics, in terms of human rights practices as Kone.
Awesome. Okay. So I want to go back to the way your company is working now with the pandemic, because in Malaysia, the cases are quite high. And Kone is a company where you go to a site and install things, right? Elevators and all that. So what have you done differently to protect your workers, particularly the subcontractors? And if they do get, you know, they get like COVID or something, what kind of support does Kone give for your workers?
Yeah, definitely. I think it's over the last year in Kone Malaysia. Unfortunately, in Malaysia, we have many cases, increasing cases. So our industry has been impacted quite badly. But one of the things that we make sure of is our workers are continue to be taken care of, especially in the building sites. We care deeply about our workers when they go out to maintain the building, especially those condominiums, the apartment blocks. Our people continue to go out to maintain during this pandemic, and we make sure that they have ample PPE in terms of masks, in terms of gloves, in terms of sanitizers. They are enough for them to change it daily and use it daily for their safety. And at the same time, we make sure that these care messages, or the messages about care of our employees, go to their families. We will send during the festive season last year, we will make sure that their families are aware that we appreciate their sons, their daughters, their fathers, their wives for doing all the work that for Kone and in serving the customers. So we send them nice, it's a gesture of sending them nice gifts and maybe some cookies from time to time to remind them that, hey, we really appreciate what their family members are doing for the society, for Kone at the same time. So this is one of the things that we make sure of. And also, we get our people tested every 2 weeks for those who need to go out to serve the customers, so that they know they have the peace of mind going out to work. Their families are not worried about.
All right. So you pay for this testing, right?
Yes.
The company pays, yeah.
We pay for the testing.
So for people like you who do office-bound job, Kone has given them the ability to work from home, or is it like a hybrid kind of a arrangement?
Yes, we allow our people to work from home. So far we have also adapted a very agile working method for office staff. So we don't require them to go back to the office unless they need to go back to the office to collect some documents or to work with some banking documents especially. Then they will allow them to go back. But what we do is making sure that when they go back, we know who are going back, when they're going back. They don't stay in the office for a long time. So if I can say safely, out of our 650 people, there's only about less than 5% of people who need to go back to the office. Most of this 5% are the spare parts warehouse stockkeeper, where they have to issue spare parts to the technicians for them to be able to change the parts in certain building sites.
Okay, great. All right, so back to the business again. So Kone is a very office centric business where you have elevators, for large buildings, and now you've got the pandemic and a lot of people are at home. So, is it going to put a dent in the business moving forward, or are you looking at new business like, probably there are some homes that have elevators, I don't know if Kone is going to pivot into that kind of business.
You mean the home elevators, June?
Yeah, home elevators. Like, so I mean, it is a pandemic and we have no idea when it's going to end, right? So, is Kone getting nervous yet, or are they looking at new businesses, or is everything just fine and dandy? You don't think that it's going to be it's not going to put a big dent in your business, yeah.
Well, I would say we as a Kone, as a global Fortune 500 company, and we are the most innovative companies, has always been in the top 100 most innovative companies across industries in the world. We are always look for new ways to improve the people flow and the users experience of our customers as well as their end users. So to answer your question is that um, we have been adopting our business model as well. As you know, this year we launched a new strategy is known as sustainable success with customers. So when we look at for Malaysia, we'll be looking into new segments with our new solutions like connectivity. One of the things that we are launching in Malaysia this year is called the DX elevators, and the DX elevators is about connectivity with different eco platform partners. So for example, we have we work with eco partners who would like to connect to our elevators. Any like a small robot will be deliver a room service meals to the customers. So this, instead of human delivering, that a robotic a machine will be able to deliver that, and they need to use our elevators to go to the kitchen, to come to the hallway, to deliver it. So the connectivity is very important, and that's what we have been doing as well in terms of getting our elevators, which is known as the DX class elevators, to have that kind of capability in terms of connecting to different
Okay,
API.
awesome. So what about right now, right? In the elevators, right? Because you're supposed to stand 1.5 meters away from anyone who's in the elevator with you, which is quite impossible to do because sometimes it's quite small. So do you have any solutions that you've come up with to solve that?
In terms of the space within the elevators, at the moment, we have different kind of, let's say, call button solutions. We have a remote. You can use your handphones to call for the lifts. You can use, for example, touchless buttons, which are able to call for the lifts. So these are very safe features for anyone who is concerned about, obviously, the pandemic. But
Yeah.
our elevators and escalators, they have self-clean as well in terms of the buttons and also the handrails, so that the user can use them very safely. So it depends on the needs of the buildings. We will definitely try to customize the solutions appropriate for them. But in terms of the space that you mentioned, we actually allow adequate space. That means that the human traffic will be less in the elevator, allowed to be used for each let's say each direction. One of the things that we try to do is to help the building managers to program the lifts so that they are allowed to to minimize the waiting time for the people, the users. So it means that initially a lift can accommodate, let's say, 10 people, now can only accommodate 5. So what we will do is try to program the lift to stop at the floors which are high number of traffic, so that the people who are waiting for the lift don't feel that they are waiting too long.
Oh, interesting. So there's a bit of AI there, like artificial intelligence. Oh,
Obviously,
okay.
this is about getting the data, understanding the traffic flow, understanding the flow of the people, which floor they'll be using, and how many people actually are living in each floor. So all this data will be studied together with the building managers and management facility.
Okay, awesome. So what are some of the new large-scale projects that Kone is working at the moment in Malaysia? Whatever that you can impart with us.
Sure. I think I'll be happy to share that we are working on the tallest building in Malaysia. That's KL PMB 118. You can see
Wow.
that it is 118 floors is already up there. It's the tallest building, and will be the tallest building in Southeast Asia, and will be ready in 2022 next year, either second half of next year.
So you've put in the pandemic measures with this new building, or is it like
Yes, we have
okay.
the Kone 24/7 in there. We are also looking at the escalators, the handrails, how to make sure that it's safe. We're also working with the building management to install certain what I mentioned earlier, the innovative solutions like call buttons and remote calling solution.
What about any other projects in the pipeline, or is this the only one?
Yeah, we have this, and then we have got the HSBC building that was already coming up, I think, in the TRX area. We do have buildings like Sky Residence. I'm not sure. It's also a big residential and commercial area.
What about hospitals? Hospitals.
Yeah, hospitals we have KPJ. We also have various hospitals that working Pantai in Malacca, and also various Pantai hospitals in the Selangor area, and HUKM as well.
Okay, that's good. That's good.
Yeah.
All right, so let's move on to about you, Edward, as a managing director. Some personal questions about you, basically. So, what is it like to be an MD of a public international company such as Kone, and how do you start your day and end your day, like, on a normal basis? Like, what time do you get up, and then what time do you go to bed, that kind of thing? And yeah, so, and in between, how do you manage the company?
Okay, good. Thanks, June. Okay, firstly about being an MD of a public listed company. Kone is a listed company in Helsinki Stock Exchange, and being a country MD for Kone means that one has to ensure, being the MD has to ensure that organization has a set of processes and procedures to always ensure full compliance to the following three areas. First is the rules and regulations of the Helsinki Stock Exchange. Second is the local laws and regulations of the country which Kone has presence in, which is Malaysia in my case. And lastly, and but not least, is the code of conduct prescribed by Kone. And that's something that I will have to make sure we have a set of process, procedures, check and balance to ensure that these three key areas are adhered to at all time. Interesting one, the question about my normal day. Let's say I wake up quite early. I'm an early bird. I wake up about 6 o'clock in the morning. That's the usual time. And I would go for a run. I go stretching. And I need to do all that to get my energy going in the morning. And then I will have a quick sort of energy boosting breakfast before I start the day. Normal pre-pandemic day, I usually start the day with going to the office, have a morning walkabout around the office to catch up with our team members, to say hello to them, to maybe touch on certain topics that we needed to catch up on. Then the rest of the morning will be filled with specific meetings with either internal or regional teams. And I usually like to arrange lunch with the customers. Hopefully it'll be opening soon and I'll be able to meet my customers again. Because I think that lunch, it provides, number one, allows me to have sort of allocated time with the customers. And then at the same time, move on in the afternoon to the project sites, the building sites, to visit my operational teams to see how they're doing. And then I like to wind down towards the end of the day with a 1 hour virtual catch-up meeting with my management team. This virtual catch-up is a very sort of relaxing kind of mode. What we'll do is because usually it's between 5 to 6, for any matters that they require urgent attention or decision making, then that's what I normally have. And then we usually end with a cup of coffee or tea or a glass of wine, just to wind down.
Oh, okay. And now you are working from home, so it's different, right?
Yeah, it's a bit different. So working from home is a lot of virtual. But at the same
Mm-hmm.
time, in Kone Malaysia, we arrange a lot of activities. Like every Friday, we have a yoga session, and then we used to have game sessions in the evening also. So yoga, there'll be games, virtual games, and there'll be virtual stretching exercises. So during this lockdown period, we have all kinds of activities just to continue to engage with our employees. And also at the same time, we have virtual meetings to meet with our subcontractors as well, just to ask them whether any support they need, how things going on the ground, and especially some of them are not allowed to go back to the sites. And if they are allowed to go back to the sites, what kind of safety measures they should be taking. So there will be regular engagement sessions with our employees, with our subcontractors, to make sure that we continue to be engaged and we continue to touch base, even though we are not allowed to meet face to face.
So this question is for people who are aspiring to become a managing director someday in their life. So how does one become an MD for large companies like Kone Malaysia? Like, are they normally headhunted for these roles, or do they, like, ease into the job? Because, as you know, and like a rank and file employee, where they start from a manager and then they get promoted and then they become an MD. So how does that work?
Yes. For me, I joined Kone Malaysia. I was headhunted for Kone to be based in Malaysia. I was based in Indonesia before with another French conglomerate, Saint-Gobain. So I'm one of the rare cases of being recruited externally. So my experience is for the three multinational companies which I have worked with and now working in. First one was Unilever, as you know, is an Anglo-Dutch company, and Saint-Gobain is a French company. Is also both of them are very, very large multinationals, and now with Kone. The majority of the country MD positions in these three multinational companies, most of the positions are filled by the internal talent, and that's usually the case in majority of the multinational, because these multinational companies have very good training program and development program to build that sustainable pipeline of talent. So they come from the ground, like started as the rank and file management trainees, and they build them up. And it's more like a pyramid structure. Obviously, some of them will leave to other industries or other companies, but majority of them are filled with internal talent. Having said that, though, we do occasionally recruit externally for MD positions. Like me, I'm one of the cases that Kone decided to go out to recruit for this position in Malaysia. That's because we believe in bringing in an external candidate who can from the non-elevator industry. I came from a non-elevator industry. It will benefit Kone greatly from the different perspectives of doing things. I was with Unilever quite a number of years. I brought in the FMCG perspective, so the sales, the marketing side of the sort of a sexy marketing, sexy sales of Unilever or the FMCG industry is doing. And most importantly, by bringing in someone from external, it also enhances the diversity and also inclusion, which is very much aligned to Kone's new strategy I mentioned earlier, sustainable success with customers. Diversity and inclusion are one of the key pillars that we're trying to focus on going forward in Kone under this new strategy of sustainable success with customers. So I hope I provided some insights in terms of how to become an MD for large companies. There are internal pipeline, but there's also external, but majority
Oh,
internal.
awesome. Okay. All right. And that is all the time that we have for today. We have just been speaking to Edward Loy, the Managing Director of Kone Malaysia. Thank you, Edward, for joining us today.
Thank you for having me, June.
The pleasure is all ours. To our listeners, be sure to join us next week as we feature another awesome guest in our 30 Minutes with dailystraits.com podcasting series. Thank you.